weekly webcam series. Today is Tuesday TOS Reviews, or also known as TOS Tuesday Reviews, here on the WWS. I am Mikey, along with my beautiful wife Suzanne, and our two wonderful kitty cats, Moonpie and Deja Vu. I welcome you all to another review of a great series which started it all, the original Star Trek series. 79 episodes, so much fun, so much to cover. Uh, and as of course you know, uh, I do use a lot of background information with IMDb, so this is mostly background information that has been accumulated over time. Also, you do know that with TOS episodes, they have in IMDb, they have so much information there, but a lot of it is repeated. So, usually, I'm just going to give you folks, guys and gals, just some brief trivia, goofs. I go quotes. I love to do quotes. So quotes is my thing. I like to try to, use different voices for the characters. Uh, I do go over soundtrack if there's any additional, music added other than the original theme from Alexander Courage. And of course, if they film outdoors, Vasquez Rocks, things like that, I will show you. So I will talk to you about filming and production. And as with every uh, pop culture series I cover Monday through Thursday at this exact time, right at about 1 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. I also mention um, one or two actors or actresses that stand out in the episode. So in this one, um, it's actually two. One is uh, Balok, Balok, played by Clint Howard. We'll mention him. We'll talk about him. Also, I don't want to really go into Ted Cassidy because he is the puppeteer that works the thing, to disguise Balok. It was this tiny little short guy. But we all know about Ted Cassidy, right? Lurch, Adam's Family, blah 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 blah. He played, Rock in What Are Little Girls Made Of before, the episode we did a few weeks before. So we won't really go into Ted, but I mean, but with Clint, I would love to because Clint is cool and he is the one of the relatives of the Ron Howard. So you know, excuse me, folks. Oh, there's Brother Curtis. Hello, Brother Curtis. Brother Curtis was there with us yesterday for our family day here in Canada, our live stream. So, Brother Curtis, thank you so much again for being a part of that. He says, "Good afternoon, Mikey. Not feeling good, but I am resting and drinking fluids and going to listen to you as I rest." Very good, sir. You know what? Take some time off. I think you do need it. You've been really working yourself to almost to the bone. I get it. I understand. Um, I would recommend, yes, that you continue doing what you're doing. Just rest. Don't worry about things. Yeah. You know, your health is the most important to us. We want your health to be primary, and it should be to you. And that's what we and Suzanne, our health is primary. We try to stay healthy. We do the best we can. Hello, Travel with Lisa MH, our lady from the UK. Hey, Mikey, how you doing, Lisa? Great to see you. Curtis said I did take the day off. Oh, good. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. He says I took today off. Curtis says, "Hey, travel with Lisa." Yes, Curtis, I'm glad. Very happy for you. Please recover. Get well soon. Prayers are with you, buddy. Always. Travel with Lisa says, "Howdy, Curtis." Wow, so cool. Curtis and Lisa, thank you. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon and endowing us with your presences. We really do appreciate that. Lisa says, "I'm good. How are you and Suzanne?" Thank you for asking. We're doing okay. We were under the weather for about 2.5 weeks, so we didn't get a lot done. We didn't do a lot around here, so I didn't post much of anything. In fact, until about 2 days before I was well, I actually came back on and I did Gorilla Stream, and I think I did part of Walton's. Yeah, I did Walton's, and I think I did some other thing, but that was about it. I really didn't come back. I stayed offline. I didn't want to say a lot because I wasn't feeling well. I mean, we both had this. It was weird. It wasn't. it wasn't quite like the C-19 pandemic thing, but it was pretty close. I mean, it felt like we were just, phlegm, and I don't want to get really disgusting, but I mean, it was just, it was just kind of bad. It was really bad. Yeah. I mean, it knocked us out for 2 weeks. We could barely do anything. So, yeah, but we're feeling better now, Lisa. So thank you. I hope you're doing well. And Curtis took the day off today, so wish him well. Let him, make sure you hope that he comes out okay and he's able to go back to work and stuff. Yeah, prayers up. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, that means a lot. Well, let's just get to the episode here real quick, then we can do some talking. Let's see. All right. So today is season 1, episode 10 of the original series. Today it's the Corbomite maneuver. This is after the Enterprise is forced to destroy a dangerous marker buoy. A gigantic alien ship arrives to capture and condemn the crew as trespassers. Now, this did receive a straight 8 out of 10 from 5.2. So basically, over 5,200 people have agreed this gets a solid B. And for me, I'd say a B plus because I think it was a really decent episode. It kept me in suspense, and then when you got to the end, of course, you know what happens. Try some Trela, or whatever that weird drink was. I never understood it. But, but next Tuesday, I want to mention that season 1, episodes 11 and 12 are the Menagerie part 2, or excuse me, part 1 and part 2. I will be doing both of those episodes together briefly with background information next Tuesday, which is on the 25th. So we're going to be doing that. And then I'm going to let you folks know about a future stream, which is coming up not this Saturday, because this Saturday we're doing our next in line of Star Trek and Star Wars franchise fan films. We're doing Star Wars Kenobi, which is going to be at 1 p.m. on this Saturday, the 22nd. But on the following Saturday, March 1st, is a very special time for us. So I will mention that at the end after we're done covering this episode. So keep watching. Okay. And Lisa does say, feel better, Curtis. Aw. And a kiss and a aw. Lisa, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Suzanne gives you a big hug too, Curtis. Yeah. Yep. Suzanne just gave you a big virtual hug also. Thanks so much, Lisa. Curtis, you're just awesome. Thank you. And Lisa, you're tremendous. Yeah. Both of you are very good people. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate this. We both do. Thanks, Mikey and Suzanne. Love you guys. Oh, we love you too. I love you, brother. Hey, come on. I can say that. I'm not a homo. Whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the episode. This came out on Thursday, November 10th, 1966, when my wee little wife was only about 5 months old. Yeah. Let's see now. Oh, what am I doing? I never know what I'm doing half the time. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Yeah, so an 8.0 out of 10. Not bad. I gave it a B plus actually after the first time I saw it. I thought it was very cool. And like I said, we will talk about Clint Howard after we go through trivia and everything. Okay. So there's just, let's see, 3, 4. Yeah, just about 5 bits of information because there's like 50 more. And there's no way I'm going to get caught in what I did last time, several weeks ago, when I decided to go into everything. Let's see. Yeah. And there's only a couple spoilers. So that's cool. All right. So let's just go into the brief information here. All right. So, although the script instructed Leonard Nimoy to emote a fearful reaction upon his first sight of Big Baylock, director Joseph Sargent suggested to Nimoy that he ignore what the script called for and instead simply react with the single word, fascinating. The suggestion of this response helped refine the Spock character and provide him with a now legendary catchphrase. Sulu has transferred to the Command Division from the Sciences Division following its premiere in Where No Man Has Gone Before. This was the first production episode in which he occupies his familiar seat at the helm. The change was made because the producers realized there's no need for an astrophysicist in every episode, yet they had to have someone sitting at the helm. McCoy says, What am I, a doctor or a moon shuttle conductor? Which can be considered the first of the Dr. Nada quotes. In later days, the quote would have been phrased, I'm a doctor, not a moon shuttle conductor. Spock establishes that he is the product of a Vulcan father and a Terran mother. And where no man has gone before, his ancestry was not defined, as he gives the rather vague statement that one of my ancestors married a human female. Captain Baylock and his vessel Thessarius are affiliated with the First Federation. Captain Kirk's Enterprise is still under the United Earth Space Probe Agency, UESPA or USPA, which is mentioned in the next few episodes to be filmed. The name United Federation of Planets wouldn't be established until later on during the first season, although Starfleet would be used in the next broadcast episode, The Menagerie Part 1. Okay, now, kiddies, the time is for you to put your hands over your ears in case you have not seen this episode, so I can give you some spoilers from it. So when you're ready, let me know. Okay. All right, here it comes. In Season 2's episode, The Deadly Years, Kirk once again uses Corbomite as a bluff, this time against the Romulans. Michael Dunn, who was popular at the time for his role as Dr. Lovelace in the Wild Wild West, was an early choice for the part of Baylock. That would have been cool. I would have loved that. However, Gene Roddenberry thought something much more weird would be more effective, leading to 6-year-old Clint Howard being cast. Dunn later appeared as Alexander in Plato's Stepchildren. Yes, he was great in that. In the bridge scene that follows the destruction of Baylock's cube, several crew members who are repairing the damage can be seen wearing blue uniforms without black collars left over from the pilots. Baylock displays a knowledge of Earth popular culture, comparing his ruse to Jekyll and Hyde. However, the charade more closely resembles the Wizard of Oz. William Shatner later provided the voice of the wizard in the Steam Engines of Oz from 2018. The panel seen behind Baylock when Kirk, McCoy, and Bailey first beam aboard the pilot ship was later used as the main panel in the Enterprise engineering room. And at the end, the implication is that Lieutenant Bailey will report back to Starfleet on his study of the society and culture of the First Federation. Yet no mention of him or the First Federation is ever made again. Okay, now you can take your hands away from your ears, folks. All right, let's go and take a look at goofs here. Okay, in a continuity issue, and there's a couple of them, so here we go. Factual errors. All right, revealing mistakes, anachronisms. Yeah, there's some good ones here and some spoilers. So yeah, we'll be good. We can just go through these as quickly as possible. Alrighty. So in continuity errors, when Baylock begins his 10-minute countdown of the Enterprise's destruction, McCoy enters the bridge wearing a standard long-sleeve uniform shirt. Shortly after this, camera cuts around the bridge include one focused on Spock and McCoy standing by the science station, with McCoy wearing his short-sleeve medical tunic. Then, when Lieutenant Bailey has his frantic outburst, McCoy goes to him to calm him, wearing the long-sleeve shirt again. Just after destroying the space buoy, as Kirk and Spock are discussing what might be ahead of them, the two-shot of Kirk and Spock from behind Spock shows Spock's earpiece in his right ear. The next shot is a frontal of Spock, minus the earpiece. When Kirk, McCoy, and Bailey are in the transport room ready to beam over to the alien ship, they are bent over with their hands on their knees. When they arrive, McCoy has his hands off his knees and slightly to the side. When Spock puts the image of Baylock on the main view screen, McCoy's shirt changes from a standard long-sleeve duty tunic to a short-sleeve medical smock, then changes back again. When Kirk and Spock confer at about the 20-minute mark, Spock initially has an earpiece in his left ear, but in the middle of a sentence, as the camera angle changes, the earpiece disappears. When Kirk leaves sickbay, he throws his uniform shirt over his shoulders. The tunic has only 2 solid gold ranked stripes. In the turbolift and changing in his quarters, his tunic has the 2.5 stripe marking. After leaving the sickbay, Kirk enters the turbolifts and states Bridge as his destination. However, he is next seen in his quarters. Okay. Then there's just a couple of factual errors. When the Enterprise encounters the Fesarius, Spock says the mass of the Fesarius is too large to be measured, but as a ship of exploration, Enterprise would have instruments to measure mass of various sizes of asteroids, moons, dwarf planets, planets of various types, and stars. Now, the other one is the USS Enterprise was 289 meters in length. That is about 948 feet. Now, that puts the length of the USS Enterprise at longer than 1/6 of a mile. The large alien ship was described as having a diameter of about 1 mile, but when the USS Enterprise is seen close up against the large alien ship, the alien ship is seen to be dozens of times longer than the former. We have just two goofs incorrectly regarded, but one of them is a spoiler, so I'll let you know about that in a minute. This first one does say Spock says that the cube resembles flypaper, and everyone agrees quickly. While flypaper will most likely be obsolete in the 23rd century, it could live on as a popular metaphor. A cursory search on IMDb reveals a number of movies titled Flypaper, which appears to cement its proverbial status in popular culture. All right, here is the spoiler. Kirk and the other members of the landing party share drinks and jokes with Baylock and join him on a friendly tour of his ship after the Enterprise has passed the test that Baylock set for them. But if Kirk had not invented the Corbomite lie, there would have been no test, and Baylock would presumably have destroyed the Enterprise. His defensive space cube also nearly killed the entire crew with radiation. So why is Kirk treating him as a harmless, friendly ally? Answer: because under these circumstances, it's really the only thing he can do. Sometimes it's easier to catch flies with honey than vinegar, especially when the fly is a highly advanced being, which is perfectly capable of swatting you. Yeah. All right. Here's some revealing mistakes. When Kirk is using the communication monitor in sickbay, there is a distinctive stain on the right bezel on the monitor. I hope I pronounced that right. Bezel. Okay. Later, the same stain appears on the monitor that is supposedly in his quarters. Wires suspending stars visible when the Enterprise is being towed by the small alien ship. And the cube distance from the Enterprise is stated as 1,593 meters, or 0.98 of a mile, but the visual on the outside shows it a lot closer than it should be. The Enterprise and the cube were both stationary. When Mr. Spock points at Bailey's console light, he says all decks have reported green, yet the light he points to is red. Okay, there's one anachronism. When little Baylock laughs, we see primitive 20th century teeth fillings, very unlikely in an advanced alien being. There's one audiovisual unsynchronized. Sulu hears Kyle say they now have 1 minute. Then he looks up toward the screen and then back down toward his console. He is responding to a line of dialogue from Big Baylock, "You now have 1 minute," which can be heard in the preview trailer, but not the episode itself, having been somehow lost in the editing room along the way. There is one moment where crew or equipment is visible. When Uhura announces she is getting a weak signal from Baylock, Spock turns from her to go to his station. When he does, you can hear the floorboards supporting the set make a big squeak. Okay? And here's a couple plot holes. Sulu uses the ship's intercom to call Kirk to the bridge at the end of the teaser. Yet in the next scene, Kirk is unaware that there is an emergency until he sees the red alert light flashing. No explanation is given why he doesn't hear Sulu's call before then. In the conference room, Bailey starts to comm in order for her phaser crew to stand by, but Captain Kirk cuts him off. But no one tells the phaser crew to ignore the interrupted message, and no one from the phaser crew comes back to find out what to do. Baylock makes a metaphor based on an Earth novel, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He had no knowledge of Earth until his belligerent encounter with the Enterprise a few hours ago, and most of his time since then has been spent studying the ship's technical manuals, which would be unlikely to contain this expression. When Kirk relieves Bailey, no one replaces him at the navigation post. With the ship in a crisis situation, the post would not be left unmanned. And even though it's painted that Bailey is panicky and overreactive to their situation, his emotional state is the most realistic of someone encountering the unknown. It is very doubtful that the rest of the bridge crew would be as level-headed and calm as portrayed. They are encountering an alien life form which says that it is going to destroy the ship in 10 minutes. There would be a lot of distress on the bridge. Okay, here's a spoiler for you all. Hands on ears. Okay, when the boarding party beams to the Fesarius and discovers Balok's benign nature, they don't call Spock to tell them of their discovery. They begin Balok's tour while the Enterprise crew waits on the edge of their seats. And then it makes no sense for a landing party to beam aboard the alien ship to retrieve an injured alien. Kirk could have just used a transporter beam to beam the injured alien aboard the Enterprise and treat it in sickbay. It's true. All right, so you can take your hands from ears now. All right, character errors. Now, during the emergency alert, crew members wouldn't be casually walking around the passageways while the ship is under attack. We see some of them knocked around when the Enterprise escapes from the tractor beam from the alien ship. They should be at their workplaces or at least somewhere secure on the ship at that time. When the Enterprise first encounters the Fesarius, Spock states that the vessel size must be a mile in diameter, over 5,000 meters away. Now, this mixing of measurement systems is inefficiently confusing, as the use of non-metric measurements would be totally obsolete. Just after Kirk attempts to bluff Balok with a description of Corbomite, Spock refers to his parents in the past tense as if they are dead. In Journey to Babel, Spock's parents are revealed to be very much alive and actually make an appearance. Commander Spock chastises Lieutenant Bailey for his excited voice when relaying some navigational information. I think we'll also take a look at the character that played Bailey, too, just for a little bit of info. But later, Spock also shares an excited voice when he is informing the captain of certain events with the alien ship. And Lieutenant Dave Bailey says that fear comes from the adrenaline gland. The correct name is adrenal gland, with adrenaline being the hormone produced by it. Note, considering the percentage of the viewing audience who had been uneducated back then, dumbing down the dialogue was often deemed necessary. I agree. Upon leaving the sickbay physical, Kirk walks down crowded corridors and into the turbolift in his bare socks and shirtless. He then gives the voice command of Bridge as his destination. Even though he's next seen in his quarters, it would be totally inappropriate for Kirk to walk onto the bridge half dressed. Absolutely true. When the Enterprise's engines have stopped, excuse me, instead of going to work on the problem, Scotty goes to the transporter room to beam Kirk, Bones, and Bailey to the alien ship. After answering an alien distress beacon, Kirk announces to the entire ship that there are lives at stake. By our standards, alien lives, but lives nonetheless. This is an absurd statement for a Starfleet officer to make. Given the Federation's numerous and varied alien personnel, and that the ship's core mission is to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, and the fact that the half-alien Mr. Spock was standing right behind Kirk at this very moment, such a statement would be highly unlikely and potentially political and professional suicide. It should be remembered that at this point, the writers didn't really have a concept of whom the Enterprise worked for. It seemed to be from a unilaterally Terran service, which had only minimal contact with aliens, and Spock's presence hadn't been fully explained. Okay. Sulu is asleep at the beginning of the briefing. He wakes up when Kirk scolds Bailey about issuing orders to the phaser crew without being ordered to do so. Kirk never says anything to Sulu about sleeping during the briefing. And last but not least, when Kirk is in the turbolift speaking with Spock on the bridge, he asks, any indication of danger, Bones? Bones is his nickname for Dr. McCoy, not for Spock. Wow. Okay, cool. And, oh, welcome, Brother Jay from Louisiana. Hello. We love you, brother. Suzanne says, hello, Jay. He says, Scotty, beam my fat ass up. Wow. Okay. Well, back then that could have been appropriate, just come on, damn it, Scotty, I want to beam me up right now. You moron. I could demote you, you know. Yeah, that'd be Kirk, you know. That'd be cool. Yeah. That's funny. It's good to see you, Jay. Welcome, welcome. We're almost done here, sir. We're going into quotes and then we'll let's see here. So let's take a look. First of all, we'll just let you know that the soundtrack, of course, the theme from Star Trek, uh, Alexander Courage, and let's see. And I just wanted to, of course, relate. This was filmed at Desilu Studios, which I don't know if it still exists. They're at 9336 West Washington Boulevard in Culver City, California. But it might. The filming dates for this episode were May 24th, 1966 to June 2nd, 1966. For about a week. That's pretty cool. Okay. All right, let's get to the quotes. And let's see. Yeah, a good number of quotes. That's cool. Let's see here. Oh yeah. I'm sure I'll be repeating a lot of stuff, so but there aren't not as many as the last one I did, so kind of cool. Alrighty. Yeah, very cool. I'm glad that Curtis and Lisa and Jay, you're all with us. And we've got 5 likes. That is so awesome. Thank you, thank you. You guys and gals are really, really nice to us. We really appreciate it. Okay. So Bones says to himself, if I jumped every time a light came on around here, I'd end up talking to myself. And then the interplay between Kirk and Baylock. He says, this is the captain of the Enterprise. Our respect for other life forms requires that we give you this warning. One critical item of information that has never been incorporated into the memory banks of any Earth ship. Since the early years of space exploration, Earth vessels have had incorporated into them a substance known as Corbomite. It is a material and a device which prevents attack on us. If any destructive energy touches our vessel, a reverse reaction of equal strength is created, destroying. You now have 2 minutes. Destroying the attacker. It may interest you to know that since the initial use of Corbomite more than 2 of our centuries ago, no attacking vessel has survived the attempt. Death has little meaning to us. If it has none to you, then attack us now. We grow annoyed at your foolishness. And Kirk says, there's no such thing as the unknown, only things temporarily hidden, temporarily not understood. And Lieutenant Dave Bailey says to Spock, it's blocking the way. Mr. Spock says, quite unnecessary to raise your voice, Mr. Bailey. And Spock says to Kirk, has it occurred to you, Jim, that there is a certain inefficiency in constantly questioning me on things you've already made up your mind about? Well, it gives me emotional security, Spock. And then Bones says, what am I, a doctor or a moon shuttle conductor? I'm a doctor, not a moon shuttle conductor. that would have definitely sounded better. And then Kirk says to Spock, there must be something to do, something I've overlooked. Yes, chess. When one is outmatched, the game is over. Checkmate. Is that your best recommendation? I regret that I can find no other logical alternative. And then Spock says to Scotty, I regret not having learned more about this Baylock. In some manner, he was reminiscent of my father. Oh, then may heaven have helped your mother. Dave Bailey says to Spock, raising my voice back there doesn't mean I was scared or couldn't do my job. It means I happen to have a human thing called an adrenaline gland. That sounds most inconvenient, however. Have you considered having it removed? Bailey sees Sulu quietly laughing at him. Very funny. Try and cross brains with Spock. He'll cut you to pieces every time, Sulu said. Captain Kirk says to McCoy, when I get my hands on the headquarters genius that assigned me a female yeoman, what's the matter, Jim? Don't you trust yourself? I've already got a female to worry about. Her name's the Enterprise. And then McCoy and Rand. Rand enters the bridge carrying a tray. I thought the power was off in the galley. I used the hand phaser and zap. Hot coffee. And then McCoy says to Kirk, Baylock's message. It was heard all over the ship. Kirk on shipwide speakers. Captain to crew. Those of you who have served for long on this vessel have encountered alien life forms. You know the greatest danger facing us is ourselves, an irrational fear of the unknown. There's no such thing as the unknown, only things temporarily hidden, temporarily not understood. Bailey says to Kirk, are you all out of your minds? End of watch? It's the end of everything. What are you, robots? Wound up toy soldiers? Don't you know when you're dying? Watching regulations and orders? What do they mean? Bailey, you're relieved. Escort him to his quarters, Doctor. Scotty, Mother power beats me beats me what makes it go. I'll buy speculation. I'd sell it if I had any. Captain, 4 minutes, 30 seconds from Sulu. Scott says, you have an annoying fascination for timepieces, Mr. Sulu. If anyone's interested, 30 seconds. And then Baylock says, we must drink. This is Tranya. I hope you relish it as much as I. And Kirk says, not chess, Mr. Spock. Poker. And Baylock over the intercom. Your recorder marker has been destroyed. You have been examined. Your ship must be destroyed. We make assumption you have a deity or deities or some such beliefs which comfort you. We therefore grant you 10 Earth time periods known as minutes to make preparations. And then Bailey says to Kirk, sir, we gonna just let it hold us here? We got phaser weapons. I vote we blast it. I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Bailey, when this becomes a democracy. A very interesting game, this poker. It does have advantages over chess. Love to teach it to you, Spock. Bailey says, yes, we're very much alike, Captain. Both proud of our ships. Scott about to beam onto the small First Federation craft. Bend low, gentlemen. It reads pretty cramped over there. Bend low, gentlemen. It reads pretty cramped over there. Mr. Spock says, I believe it adds up to either one of two possibilities. First, a space buoy of some kind. Second, flypaper. And, no, sorry. Oh, you've had other things on your mind. My fault. I don't know how you've ever kept from punching me in the face. And last line, Baylock. Now, before I bring back the Fesarius, let me show you my vessel. It is not often that I have this pleasure. Yes, we're very much alike, Captain. Both proud of our ships. And the first lines are Mr. Spock saying, 1 degree overlap. Stand by to photograph from Dave Bailey and Kirk. This is the captain speaking. First Federation vessel is in distress. We're preparing to board it. There are lives at stake by our standards, alien life, but lives nevertheless. Captain O. And that is the Corbomite maneuver from season 1, episode 10. There we go. And Jay Aldrich says, shut up, Scotty. If I'm a whale, then you are a freaking cow. Curtis says, beam us up, Jay Aldrich. There are no Orion girls for me here. Curtis, I will bring the hypo sprays. And then Jay says, Spock, get off the floor. Stop looking up your skirt. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Scotty, I need you to beam me out in 3 minutes or I'm dead. Can I make it 2.53 seconds, Captain? That's too close, Scotty. Too close. Oh, my God. You know, I never get bored. I never get tired of the original series. I love it so much. Even Spock's brain. Yeah, let's go figure that one out. We'll talk about that one much later on. But I tell you, there's just so many. Here's the thing I want to say about TOS. There's so many unique things about every single episode. Even the one we're going to cover next week. We're going to do 2 of those because it's the Menagerie, part 1 and 2. Which is next week, next Tuesday. That's episode 11 and 12 from season 1. Which, talks about Spock going haywire and say, hey, I got to go drag my former Captain Pike, his sorry ass over to Talos, and the Telosians, which are supposed to be forbidden from being boarded and going there and whatever, and you know, TOS 4, right? And I mean, it's just really weird, and but see, the thing is that I really every single episode, right into the very last one, Turnabout Intruder, every one of them has a unique perspective on space travel and exploration and in the quality of human life and how people uh, conduct themselves, in certain situations, things that can go weird, things that can go stupid, Icebox brain. I said that twice. And other things. But the thing is that it was unique, and for the time, most of us who, my sorry ass was only about a year old, so I really couldn't understand it when it first came out. But then when it went into syndication, I started growing up, So when I was like 5, 6, 7, and onward, and I started watching all the original series, as they went into syndication and reruns, we all remember that. So when all that happened, I really, really enjoyed them. And I mean every episode. And then when I got into the next offshoot of that in 87, when they had the Star Trek The Next Generation, I just went from there. And every series, from Generation to DS9 to Voyager and even Enterprise, were all great in my own estimation. I had some moments in each different series where I thought they were very good, very good. And I never had an issue. Never had an issue. But as soon as Enterprise ended in 2005, that's when the shit hit the fan and everything went nuts. From Discovery on Disco, if you want to call it that, everything went nuts. Everything went stupid. Now, there were a few brief moments that stood out. Some people say Prodigy is decent. Okay, I agree with you. I've seen like maybe a couple episodes in brief. They're okay. Lower Decks, okay, maybe, because it has Janeway's voice, sorry, Moldar, or not Moldar, sorry. You know, damn it. You know who I'm talking about. But anyway, Mulgrew, that's it, right, Kate Mulgrew. So yeah, Kate Mulgrew doing her voice, things like that. Okay, those are all right, no problem. But I just and then of course, Picard season 3 had some great moments with the Borg. Whenever you have the Borg involved, it's freaking awesome. Like, I love it. I don't know. Some people are getting tired of it going, wow, you had to go back to the Borg well again and drag the Borg out of retirement or out of mothballs and use them again. I don't think of it that way. I think that they use some very innovative and creative ways to make the Borg important, because they did the same thing with Q, right? With John Delancey in Next Generation, they made him the bad guy, but in some cases, he was a good guy in Voyager. He even offered to bring Janeway home early. Of course, she refused, but and then he goes to DS9, he gets punched in the face by Cisco, and he says, Picard never hit me. I mean, and if you want to think, here's the thing that might blow your minds. If you want to think about it, Daniels from the 30th century, he kind of is like Q, because he's from the future and he comes back to the past to try to help Archer avoid the Zindi War and change history and all this other shit. So I mean, yeah, if you want to think of it that way, that's cool. Yeah, it's a good thought. Um, yeah, the Telosians are supposed to be a secret classified. Amen to that. A year old, that's a young ass. Yeah, it is. Um, Jay says, Mikey, you like Chex Mix. I can't stop eating them. I love Chex Mix. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially the peanuts in them, right? And then you got some of those cashews, which are pretty good. Yeah, if you do those cashews right in a Chex Mix, they're very good. Now, here's a weird thing for you. I've actually put ketchup and mustard on Chex Mix. I kid you not. I had done both of those condiments on Chex Mix. It's pretty good. And I've done melted cheese too. I do experiments with food. So I was, back then. So I was just, as a young adult, I was throwing shit on things that I had left over, in my apartment at the time. And I would just do some weird experiments. But I did. I put mustard, ketchup, and I did some melted cheese on top of Chex Mix. I thought it was awesome. Yeah. He goes, yuck. I'm sorry, Jay. I didn't mean to sinking you out. Oh, come on. I'm just telling you what I did as a young man. I was growing up. I was by myself. I didn't do a lot. So, I had to come up with some weird ass thing. What's your language? There's no cussing on this radio. I understand. Okay, yeah. The last thing we were going to do was cover two of the members of the crew. Well, one crew member, and then Baylock. So let's go to Bailey first. Lieutenant Bailey here. Where the heck is Bailey? Bailey, oh Bailey, where are you? There he is. Dave Bailey as Anthony Call. The actor's name is Anthony D. D is his middle initial, and Call Call. All right, let's check it out. Okay, he is just an actor. He's a graduate of Pomfret School, Pomfret, Connecticut, in 1958. Hold on, I gotta stop a screen there. There we go. Where Tony not only acted on the school stage, but was also the star quarterback on the football team. Among his fellow classmates was Jeffrey Paul Hopkins, who went on to learn the Tibetan language while following severe Buddhist monastery. Anthony was born August 31st, 1940. So when he reaches that date this year, he should turn the ripe old age of 85. That is so cool. He's known not just for Star Trek, where he only appeared in the one episode. He was in one episode of The Twilight Zone as Lee Helmsman, and in that, his name was Tony Call. That was in 1963. He did do One Life to Live. He was on that soap opera for 96 episodes from 1979 to 1991. And a TV series known as The Haunting, he did the voice of the narrator for that series. I remember that series a little bit. He was the narrator for that for 59 episodes from 2013 until it ended in 2022. That is so cool. And the last thing he acted in, he was in a TV series called Shock Docs. For 8 episodes, he was the narrator from 2020 to 2023. So, yeah, that was Anthony D. Call, who played Dave Bailey in the Star Trek episode. Alrighty. So let's go back here. Now we'll take a look at Clint Howard, who played Baylock the alien. Now let's see here. Okay, currently Clint Howard is an actor, writer, and producer. He was born in April 20th, 1959. So this year, he will turn the ripe old age of 66. Yeah, cool. So he'll be BVP's age. Oh, how cool. All right. From his acting debut at age 2 on The Andy Griffith Show to his first lead role in the TV series Gentle Ben, including roles throughout so many blockbuster films, art house films, ever-popular cult horror films, and valued comedies, with a rare voice adding life to multiple characters of Disney, Clint Howard is an iconic Hollywood legend who is ever solid, energetic, and always readily prepared to contribute his talents. He is one of very few, if any, who has had a unique 5-generation Star Trek run. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at this here for a minute. And he's 5'7". Yay! I'm a half-inch taller than him. His birth name was Clinton Eagle Howard. He was born in Burbank, California. Okay. Yeah. He is one of very few, if any, who has had a unique 5-generation Star Trek run, including episodes in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Disco, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Enterprise, all the way to Star Trek the original series. He has played a variety of characters over the years in several classic films, including Frost Nixon, Apollo 13, the Austin Powers trilogy, The Waterboy, The Rocketeer, Tango and Cash, and Disney's The Jungle Book, along with hundreds of other titles through his 60 years of acting. Clint Howard has played such a variety of roles, ready to take on any acting challenge. He is the ultimate chameleon of television and film. He has consistently worked well alongside Hollywood's fellow top actors throughout the decades and has fully committed himself to every character in parts large and small. He has carried unique roles echoing through the generations in some of Hollywood's most memorable roles, still driving forth full steam ahead, ready to take on his next acting persona. So, and of course, he is related to his brother, the awesome Ron Howard, who is a very good director and producer. So, very cool. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, I can understand, Jay. You would do that. Yeah. Yeah, and Jay says that's from Smokey and the Bandit. Ah, and then Travel with Lisa says, "Gotta go, Mikey. Take care." Okay, Lisa. Great to see you, honey. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We enjoy your company. We enjoy your presence being here. So thank you, and God bless. God bless you and your family there in the UK and also here in Canada. So God bless. And Jay says, "I'm mistaken Bailey for the professor on Gilligan's Island." Yeah, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Shotcocks? Oh boy, Jay. Okay. Anyway. All right, so that takes care of our review of season one, episode 10, the Corbomite maneuver. First time that Captain James T. Kirk uses this fake mineral to say that it can destroy an alien ship, destroy their ship at the same time, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, it was effective. Now, with the Romulans later on, it also became effective, but in a different way. So maybe we'll find out when we get to that episode and we cover it and we review it here. We'll get more information on that. But as far as everything else goes, this was very cool. Yeah. And like I said, as opposed to what IMDb people calling it a straight up B, I give it a B plus. I really thought it's a very good episode. And I think that Clint Howard is a 6-year old, and I mean he's just so cute as that alien Baylock. And I mean just right, you want to fall in love with him. And then he tells you that he's gonna give you Tranya. What the fuck is Tranya? I don't even know. I'm sorry I used the F word. Sorry about that. That was dropping an F bomb there for one time. But I mean, what the heck is Tranya? I had no idea then. I'm like, it looked like some sort of wine or some crap. I don't know. I don't know what Tranya was. Curtis says, take care, travel with Lisa. And Jay says, somebody took off my message. Well, you might have said something. I do have, to be fair, Jay, I do have typed in some certain words that can't be said in chat. Really offensive words. So maybe the algorithm looked at your message and thought there's some kind of okay. Gorilla gets after me. Now it's not my fault, okay? I only typed in what I thought would be words that I thought would be very offensive, not just to men and women, but in general. And I just typed them in there. So what apparently the YouTube algorithm, the overlords do, is they modify what you put in so then if they think that any form of it is even in there, that they can even hear it, they or see it or whatever, they'll automatically just delete your message. They won't even put anything there. Yeah. So it'll look like it was retracted when in fact it was taken out. So you see, that's a form of censorship. That is what a lot of people are fighting about YouTube. And that is what one of the purposes of LDG, I'll mention his name just once, is wanting to do with his project Prometheus is to eliminate all of these censorship issues. And I hope he succeeds. I hope he does. Curtis says, take care. Right, travel. Jay, yeah. Hello, Jeff B. Welcome, Jeff B, to the program. We're almost done, Jeff B. We're just going to get to some future information here. Also, we're going to go ahead and do the prayer, and then we'll head on out. Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost at an hour. So I usually do this for an hour, and then I'm like, then I go. because I try to rest. I'm an old man. I'm retired. I'm, turning 60. Go figure. Jeff B says, "Hail, Mikey, Jay, and Curtis." Jay says it's an A+ from him. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Jeff B, maybe you could tell me. Curtis Selby, if you're listening, if you've ever seen the Corbomite maneuver, what was your grade? Love to ask you guys what your grade was in the comments. Jay gave it a straight up A+. I gave it a B+. I thought it's good. It's a decent episode. Not great, but I mean, anything that's great for me is like right at an A. If I put it as an A- or an A, it's right there. So, yeah. I'm very picky about that. But I mean, there are some TOS episodes that were fantastic. Now, here's a good comparison, okay? I'll choose two episodes that I'm really familiar with. Mud's Women, now that's a good episode. Good women in it, the whole premise, hardcore Fenton Mud being a hole like he always is, the Kirk, but I mean Kirk understands him, right? Then you get to I Mud. Greatest episode, in my honest opinion, of the entire series. Norman, the android, running the entire planet on one base of him. But they don't figure that out until almost the end, and they say it's all about Norman. So we need to go after Norman and destroy him or short circuit him. Not destroy him. They can't really destroy him, but they can short circuit him so he gets everybody else on the planet wiped out, of their memory or whatever. So, I mean, it's still awesome. I mean, to me, to this day, I would watch that episode on repeat, on a complete loop. For me, that's an A++. That is the only episode. I'm going to tell you folks right now. I do love TOS in general, every episode, but I would give it an A++ for iMud. It's just my all-time favorite. I love it. When we get to that, I can't wait because I would love to talk to you guys about that episode. Everything good about it. There's nothing bad. There is nothing bad about it at all. At all. I mean, it's just absolutely funny. It's hilarious. It can get stupid, with the dancing and Hura, Sulu, Scotty doing his shit thing, But I mean, it's the epitome. It's the epitome of being on an alien world full of androids, and you got these human beings acting like total douchebags just to save their lives so that they can stay out of servitude and slavery and whatever to knock off Norman and do the thing. So, yeah, I can't wait. It's just it's so much good. I mean, I talk about it a lot and I get excited. I get giddy. It's great. Yeah, Jay says if you're going to use the F word, go for the gold. You can go for the gold if you want on Gorilla streams, Jay. For me, I drop them once or twice. Try not to have the overlords go, "Oh, Mikey's gone all, schizo, and now he's starting to cuss more. Ooh, maybe we should watch him more. Ooh, yeah, watch him more." Jeff B says, "Just YouTube being a beach, Jay." Yeah, absolutely. Jay says the line where Jackie Gleason screams at the Japanese truck driver, "How about barbecue?" Jeff B from this episode, he says, A- for me. Love Kirk bluffing at poker. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Curtis says, Hail, Jeff B. Curtis did give the Corbomite episode an A- too. Awesome. Awesome. So I guess my grade is a little low. B+, but you guys gave it like an A-. So I guess it's right in that range. Would you say? Yeah, right in that little grade range. I give mine just a little bit lower because, Kirk is Kirk, and he's gonna pull some bluff and do some shit. He's done that a few times, to get out of trouble. But yeah. So I love the episode where he says we're in trouble, and he says, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, we're in trouble." There's an episode. I know it's out there. I'll find it. Jeff B says, "Feel better, Curtis Kapla." Curtis says, "Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, my favorite part of the episode is Kirk's bluff. I agree." Uh, yeah, Curtis says you're being more objective, Mikey. It is a little bit of a silly episode. It is. I do. I agree. Sure. But like I said, when you get to see Baylock for the first time, little Clint Howard, 6 years old, he's but he looks like he's really mature, doesn't he? He's only 6. He's only 6 when he's standing there or sitting there in his little throne. But he does look like a mature alien, doesn't he? The way they did him up and everything. Very cool. Yeah, I have to say that's a bit silly, but and then having Ted Cassidy doing the voice of the Baylock puppeteer, and and his lurch, typical lurch voice, kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so that takes care of the Corbomite maneuver for today. As we said, next Tuesday we will be doing a special 2-episode review because I only like to do 1-episode reviews of these TOS because I really enjoy that. But we will do a special 2-episode review next week of both part 1 and part 2 of the Menagerie, which is such a great 2-parter episode. And really, I really think that the Menagerie episode, in my opinion, really started to take season 1 for it to take off, literally, and to start getting good. And and after watching both parts and everything in their entirety, I have to agree. I think that that's a perfect spot. That's where Enterprise established its humanity, its objectivity, as you just said, Curtis. They were ready. So when they did this thing with the episode with 2 parts and did all of that, and then you realize it's all spoilers, it's all an illusion, the trial and everything. Sorry. Make sure you put your ears on your for that. Um, but when you see all that, you're like, wow, wow, like just blows your mind, right? I mean, it just the whole thing. Jeff Bezos has always thought he was played by a dwarf. Yeah, well, he was a little guy back then, you know. Heck, I mean, I'm 5'7.5" now, but back in the day, I was a very small kid, and up until about my senior year in high school, I only reached about a 4'3" level, so I wasn't even close to 5 foot yet. Not until I got into college. Yeah, so that just tells you where I was. I was Michael Dunn. I was Plato's stepchildren. I was Alexander. I was Dr. Miguelito Loveless in Wild Wild West. That was me. I was Michael Dunn. He was in the first episode. You guys might not remember this, but he was in the very first episode, black and white, of Get Smart. He played Mr. Big, but he was just, small little dwarf guy. Yeah, small person against Maxwell Smart. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was. He was in that very first episode. We'll be able to talk about Get Smart pretty soon, as soon as we're done covering all of the rest of Greatest American Hero tomorrow. We're almost done. We have a few more weeks left, and then we're also going to cover the movie, the TV movie from that, the one that came out in 1987 called The Greatest American Heroine. Yeah, which featured a young Mary Stewart. But yeah, that should be good. And Jay Aldridge says, watch Mikey more effing yeah. Curtis says, watch more MikeySuzeFour. Yes, please. Watch some more of our content here. Curtis says, I always thought the kid was 8 or 9. If he was only 6, then I am really impressed. Yeah, he was only 6 years old when he did the role. Clint, yeah. Weird. Agreed, Curtis. He did a great job. I totally agree. I do. I think that Clint did a wonderful job. I think there was, if I remember correctly, there was a interview that someone did with Ron Howard, his brother, and he asked him, and he said, "Do you remember when Clint did the Star Trek episode, the Corbomite maneuver as Baylock?" And I think, look, I'm just trying to go from fragmented memory in my Warehouse 13 brain, but I think that Ron Howard said that he was very impressed with how he was able to act. Because remember, Ron Howard himself played little Andy Taylor, right? On the Andy Griffith show, and through Mayberry RFD and all that stuff. So that was Ron Howard growing up through our eyes. When you watched him grow up, you were like, Ron Howard, this kid's cool, and he can do everything. So when you saw his when you saw his brother, you know what? I want to take a look and see how, first of all, okay, so Clint is April 20th, 1959. Let's see Ron Howard here. Little Ronnie Howard. Here we go. Okay. All right. So Ron Howard is the older brother. He was born March 1st, 1954. So Clint Howard is the younger brother of Ron Howard. Okay. That's what I thought. And oh, wow, this is cool. So Ron Howard's birthday is on the very same day that Suzanne and I met back in March 1st in 2010 is when we met. But Ron was born March 1st, 1954. So when we reach our 15-year anniversary as a couple, he's going to turn 71. Wow. Ron Howard, 71. Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Ron was great in The Shootist. I agree. The last one with John Wayne? Yes. I totally agree. Mm-hmm. You did a great job there. Okay. Yeah, I gotta go, y'all. Take a shot of whiskey for me. I will, Jay. You have some fun with Renee. Alrighty. So before I go into the future, let you guys know what's happening next 2 weeks. I do want to say once again, I want to thank everybody that was here in the chat that appeared this afternoon. 7 people likes. Thank you so much. 3 people still here. That is totally cool. I'm very easy to get along with, folks. You'll find that out as you continue to be subscribed to the MikeySuzeFour channel. Remember, we're at 240. We just need 10 more. So get us 10 more friends, okay? Bring 10 more friends into our family community so that we can reach 250 and do a great live stream to celebrate everybody. All right. Now, here's first of all, let's thank Brother Jay Aldrich for being here, and Renee. Thank you, Jeff B, for being here. Thank you, Brother Curtis Selby, our tired midnight blogger guy, who always helps us out with Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf. Wonderful brother. Love him. Also, we want to thank Travel with Lisa MH, who is there from the UK and also has relatives and family here in Toronto. Hopefully, we'll get to see her in May. That will be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can even do a live stream. That would be cool. Alrighty. Yes, so I want to thank every one of you for being here today. Really, really appreciate that. Okay. All right, so here's what we got coming up. So tomorrow, of course, we have season 3s that we're still running, episodes from both The Greatest American Hero on Wednesday and the A-Team on Thursday. Also, I have commitments still with Gorilla's Censored Thoughts, Walton's episodes that he does. So I'll still be working with him on that. And then on this coming Saturday, now tomorrow, Jay, I know you left, but tomorrow I'll send you the link to watch Star Wars Kenobi. That'll be the next Star Wars short fan film that we'll be covering for this coming Saturday, which will be, February 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we'll have Jay, Eli, Daniel T, and wait, let me say this again. Eli Scott, Jay Aldrich, and Daniel T. will all be there with me, hopefully, the 5 of us, so that we can give you our reviews and our impressions of the fan film that we saw. So hopefully all of you will get a chance to see that. Now, after we do our normal Monday through Thursday next week, which is the 24th through the 27th, we're going to, and after the Waltons on the 28th, we're going to do a special live stream. Now, listen carefully. We're not going to have any panelists except for myself and my wife. We will have lots of open chat, so there will be chatters. They can come in, do whatever they want. We're going to run for a couple of hours. No more than 3. That's what I'm shooting for. Because it's going to be late night. I mean, it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern on March 1st. That is a Saturday. We are going to let you folks know that March 1st, way back in 2010, was the first time that Suzanne and I ever met each other. Even though it wasn't in person, it was online. We've been a couple for those 15 years. That will be our 15-year anniversary. Now, this anniversary that's coming up is just as important as the time we first got engaged and married in Niagara Falls back in June of 2015. And then it's just as important as when we went down to the United States, had my mom and dad as Carmelite ministers, but they weren't Carmelites at that time yet. They were still Catholic Eucharistic ministers. But we had them witness at the local courthouse in the neighborhood I used to live in for over 15 years, almost 17. We went to that courthouse, and Suzanne and I, in April of 2016, we got officially married there. So that's 9 years. So we have the 15-year anniversary coming up next month. We've got the 10-year anniversary, or excuse me, the 9-year anniversary coming up in April. And then we've got our 10-year anniversary coming up in June. So there is a lot to look forward to here on MikeySuzeFour. I hope all of you, and every single one of those anniversaries we reach will just be me and Suzanne. So if you have questions to ask us, if you got comments to make, think of them carefully. I'm just saying, think of them very carefully of what you want to ask, what you want to say to us on March 1st when we reach our 15-year anniversary. Write it down, have those questions ready for us because, like I said, the floor will be open. And other than politics, which will never be discussed again, I don't want to try to, well, maybe not again. Again is a powerful word. So maybe just saying there might be one or two instances where we throw in a political comment or two. But I mean, that happens with any stream. I don't think you can ever be perfect. I tried that already. It doesn't work. I don't think you'd be perfect and not throw some sort of political issue into it. Death or taxes or whatever. Religion, too, yeah. It happens. My dad. Okay. My wife's phone. Anyway, so that is for March 1st. That is our plan. It's just the two of us. We'll be on here live streaming, not webcam. It'll be a live stream, but I just won't allow any other panels to enter. I want just me and my wife to be together. We might sit together. She might be on my shoulders. She might be over here, something. But I want you folks to please put together some questions. It'll be a one-on-one with just us and the chat. And we'll just tell you folks what went on in our lives, how we got together, how things happened without being too personal. And we just want to have fun with you folks. We do. We just want to let you know that we are a good couple. We do what we can. We try to build this channel as best as we can. And we have fun doing it. We have met some wonderful people along the way. We really have. And we've established some wonderful relationships. And I want to hope that those relationships continue. I do, moving forward in our future. And speaking of the beautiful wife, there she is. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. Yeah. So that's what we plan on for March 1st for next month. I hope all of you can be there for that. And oh hey, Mike. Hey, hello, Larry. Welcome. Be Yourself Adventures. Yeah. And Jeff B says, hey, BYA. And hey, Jeff B from Larry. Curtis says, hey, Be Yourself Adventures. Hey, Curtis. And yep, Jeff B says, good. You're keeping that all straight. Celebrate it all. We will. We will. Larry, if you just missed it, or maybe you might catch it on the rewatch, we're going to have a special live stream. Well, you know about our Kenobi. We're doing our normal standard Star Wars fan film. Like I said, every other Saturday we do a Star Trek fan film, then we do a Star Wars. We're doing Star Wars Kenobi this coming Saturday on the 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. But we are doing a special celebratory anniversary, our 15 years together as a couple, the following Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central, 7 o'clock in the mountains, 6 p.m. in the Pacific Coast Time. And we're going to celebrate our 15 years of being a couple together. And we're not having any Star Trek or Star Wars fan film stream that day. We're going to rest. We're going to relax. We'll let you guys put together all of you, and girls put together all of your questions, your comments, things you want to say. Think very carefully about what you want to ask and everything. And then we will accommodate you folks That's Saturday on the 1st. So that'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. Can't wait to do that. Okay. All right. So let's tell you about tomorrow real quickly and let you know what's going on with the Greatest American Hero. And let me take a look at that. I think we're into episodes 7 and 8 of the 3rd season. I might be misquoting, so I'll have it down tomorrow. But I know we're into season 3, so let's see. I just want to take a look at this here. Heaven is in Your Genes, live at 11, Space Ranger. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think so. So tomorrow, season 3, episodes 7 and 8. Season 3, episode 7 is live at 11. And in season 3, episode 8 is called Space Ranger. I believe those are the 2 episodes that we'll be covering tomorrow in our review of The Greatest American Hero. So that'll be for tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, of course. Okay. All right. So again, one more time, I want to thank Larry for being here, Jeff B., Travel with Lisa, Jay Aldridge, and our brother, Curtis Selby, Tired Midnight Blogger. All of you folks for being here. I really appreciate that. Larry, I hope you're feeling better with your situation, with your appointments and things like that. Again, Larry, I do want to emphasize I am so sorry. I didn't realize that when I was running my Family Day celebration live stream, you were also live streaming. You know my situation with Jim already, so I don't need to say any more about that. If he asks why, you know why. But anyway, that being said, I hope, Larry, that we continue to keep our friendship always. Like I said, you're more than a friend. You've always been a member of the family, extended family. Um, you know, and despite your losses, mom and dad, have already, they a long time ago adopted you. So you know that your mom and dad is my mom and dad and Suzanne's mom and dad. You know that already. I do want to say, Larry, we should do a simulcast in about another year or so. When we're still friends and brothers, we should go ahead and do a 50th anniversary of our friendship and do a simulcast that day and maybe do a 12-hour stream. That would be cool. Or maybe 6 hours. We could do it at least half. We could do a 6-hour stream. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to do that with you. Yeah, let me know about that. I know that's like about a year and a half or so down the line, but it coincides right around the time where you and I were both in that line and we were waiting for. I like to use that as a front piece. Is where we're waiting for the initial premiere of Star Wars for over 3 hours in 100-degree temperatures outside of the outside of the theater there. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. So that sounds good. Awesome. I would love to do that when we reach our 50th anniversary. Yes. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. We'll have a very special one for that. Yeah, cool. All right. So anyway, everyone, let's go ahead and do a quick prayer here. Then we'll head on out the door. I don't like to quote Gorilla anymore about the prom date or that's his deal. I can never get that right. So you know what, Gorilla? From now on, you do it. You say it. Do your thing. That's. I'm just gonna say, let's get the heck out of Dodge. How about that? Since I lived in Arizona for all those years, why not? Okay. So, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, dear Lord, thank you so much for social media. As we know our friends and neighbors along the way, we enjoy their comments. We enjoy their camaraderie with us. The friendship, the support, the love, the caring, everything, and the prayers, especially, which are the most powerful thing on earth that you've given us prayer to help us all out in our escapades and life as we know it every single day. Please, Lord, of course, be with us, our friends that are going through really tough times right now. such as our brother Larry, brother Curtis, brother Jason, brother Jay, and brother Jason, um, and all of our other friends that are having hard times, and the families that have been going through these air disasters, the earthquakes, the mudslides, the plane crashes, yeah, fires, wildfires, all of that. May your angels watch over every single one of their families and members and everybody that's there, and help them to get through the rougher times where they've had the losses, and help them receive some comfort. So on behalf of God our Father, Jesus his Son, the Holy Spirit, the blessed most blessed Virgin Mary, and our own patron saints to pray for us, Saint Suzanne and Saint Michael the Archangel, defender of heaven, who sent the evil one to fucking hell. Sorry, had to drop that one F. But anyway, um, God be with all of us, and we ask you in your name, Lord. Amen and amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So thank you, Lord, for everything you do and how you get us through life. Amen. Thank you, Larry. And I want to say again to everybody here in the chat, and everybody we know, to all 240 family members, not just subscribers, not just community, but also family. We want to say to all of you, God bless you all. And remember, Larry said it himself, always be yourself. Always a good piece of advice. My beautiful wife, Minister Suzanne, over here, who says, leave everything in God's hands. That is a fantastic phrase, and I love it. And of course, for myself, I say for this channel, always expect the unexpected, everybody. That is what I say for everybody here. Always expect the unexpected every time. At least I hope to every time. so as I also say, as the great Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert fame said, the aisle is now closed. So in that respect, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless the entire freaking world. And of course, peace from MikeySuzeFour. Hope you all will join us tomorrow again for The Greatest American Hero. 2 episodes that we always do on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, straight up. Make sure you're here for that. Take care, everybody. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And by the way, I did ask our wonderful co-managing moderator, along with my beautiful wife and Sir Lemon Pie, the lovely Connie Cleary, to clear up aisle 3. She did. In her usual efficient way, she just went in and went. It was done in less than 10 minutes. Can you clear an entire aisle in 10 minutes, considering it's like something out of Price Costco or... I know. It's a joke. Whatever. But anyway, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. And God bless. For MikeySuzeFour.